Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And we're continuing to talk about plastic bags in today's program. Now, looking around the studio here, I am happy to announce that we don't have any plastic bags in here.
No.
So I didn't bring any of my stuff in here today in a plastic bag, although I do have a disposable cup for my coffee here with the plastic cap. So I guess I'm not really being very environmentally friendly today, but at least I don't have a plastic bag.
Oh, I'm using a paper cup.
Uh-oh.
I feel good about that. And my own personal thermos that I got from Japan, which is so great. Anyway, yeah, but our lives are filled with plastic. I was even thinking this morning, our shampoo bottles, all of the creams we use, all this stuff's plastic. It's the bags, though, that are out of control. We're going to go through today's program and kind of talk about some of the ideas out there. How can we resolve this issue? How can we solve the problem? We're going to read through today's lesson and then we'll be back. Many people believe the solution to the plastic plague that's suffocating our natural environment lies in dispensing with plastic bags wherever we can. Numerous countries have already taken action by banning or taxing plastic bags, including nations in Africa, Europe, and Asia. While this move has done a great deal to cut plastic bag consumption in these places, it's only the first step in tackling this issue. The motto of reduce, reuse, recycle is even more crucial today than when it first came on the scene in the 1970s. Most of us still have plenty of plastic shopping bags around our homes, but simply disposing of them in the recycling bin is not the ideal way to handle them. If we use them as their inventor intended at the outset, these bags can still help reduce our carbon footprint. Paper bags and cotton bags may diminish litter and waste, but both take more resources to produce than plastic bags, and therefore don't reduce our overall impact on the environment. In fact, a cotton tote takes 131 times as much energy to produce as a recycled plastic bag. More companies are also creating sturdy bags that are meant to be portable and can substitute for thousands of single-use plastic bags over a person's lifetime. With a combination of reusing what we already have and investing in items that are made to last, we can finally start to safeguard the environment in the way that the inventor of plastic bags intended. In that kind of world, we would take our own bags anywhere we went because, as Tulin's son said, well, why wouldn't you?
Okay, let's get to it. Let's talk about plastic bags and how they're bad for the environment and what we can do to reduce our use of those plastic bags to help save the earth. And here in the first paragraph it says, many people believe the solution to the plastic plague that's suffocating our natural environment lies in dispensing with plastic bags. So that's what a lot of people think is the solution to our plastic plague, is to simply use them as little as we can. Dispensing with them, just don't use them. Try to seek alternatives. But here we've got the word plague here, which generally refers to some kind of disease, like the plague that hit Europe a long time ago and lots of people died. It was also referred to as the Black Death, but it was also called the plague, which again is a contagious disease with bacteria, and you can get a fever and you can get all sorts of problems and lots of people can die. So that's what a plague is. Just a basic, really big disease that spreads from person to person. But in this particular case, we can use the plague to talk about a big problem in society that isn't necessarily a disease. So this is a plastic plague, a big problem that we have with plastic. And the problem is that it's suffocating our natural environment. It's stopping us from breathing. That's what suffocating means.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll use it to talk about the way someone is murdering someone or killing someone. You can take a pillow and suffocate somebody by putting the pillow on their face. Or maybe it's just really humid outside and it's hot and the heat is suffocating. Not really. You're not going to stop breathing outside on a hot summer day in Taiwan, but it feels like that. So it's suffocating our natural environment. And the solution might be in the fact that you can dispense with plastic bags when you can. So we might want to think about that. To dispense something or dispense with something means to get rid of it. We use dispense to talk about maybe you go to the pharmacy and you're getting a prescription filled, and your prescription will be they'll dispense your prescription. We use it that way. There's also a candy. Tom, what's it called?
I think it's the Pez candy, P-E-Z.
Yeah, and they call the little thing that the candies come in the Pez dispenser. There are 12 little pieces of candy. They're fun for kids, although I know some adults that still like them. So dispense with also just means to get rid of or not go ahead with it. I was telling Tom, sometimes in church it runs too long, people talk too much, and so they'll say, we're going to dispense with the closing hymn, the last song we sing, so they're not going to have it this Sunday. We're going to dispense with or get rid of plastic bags whenever we can, if possible.
That's right. We want to stop using them. For example, I could say, I'm going to dispense with my transportation expenses and start riding my bicycle.
Cool.
So in this particular case, we want to use these plastic bags less or not at all. We're going to dispense with plastic bags whenever we can. I think you should probably reuse them.
Yeah.
But again, that's something we've always got to remember. Every time we go out the door, we need to bring a plastic bag with us. Gee, don't we have enough stuff we have to bring with us? We got to bring our car keys and our phone and our schedule book and our planners and stuff. Now we need to remember a plastic bag.
And an umbrella because we live in Taiwan.
That's right. So yeah, who wants to bring a plastic bag with them? But like I said earlier, I think one way to get people to use plastic bags less is to charge more for them. 2 NT or 5 NT isn't going to stop people from doing that. But in any case here, numerous countries have already taken action by banning or taxing plastic bags, including nations in Africa, Europe, and Asia. So many countries have taken action. They've decided to do something by banning those plastic bags, just simply not allowing them to be used or taxing them. If you're going to use them, then you're going to have to pay a tax. And of course, the countries that are doing this are in Africa, Europe, and Asia.
Yep, that's true. Well, this move has done a great deal to cut plastic bag consumption in these places. It's only the first step in tackling or confronting this issue. Consumption just means you're consuming something, you're using something. A lot of times we use consumption when we use something and then it's gone. We consume a lot of gasoline in our vehicles. I consume a lot of soda pop. I love Sprite. I no longer consume Sprite, so those are good memories for me. So consumption, it just means you're using something, and sometimes you're using up something as well. So yeah, plastic bag consumption or the use of plastic bags in these places, like Africa, Europe, and Asia, they're also polluting a lot. So we've got to worry about that. It's only the first step in tackling this issue. If you tackle an issue, you confront it, you face it, you don't avoid it. We use the word tackle in American football when one of the players will throw his arms or his body towards another player and drags him to the ground. That's tackling. But here, of course, it's not literal. You're not using your body. You're just using your brains to figure out a solution.
Indeed. Now let's move on to the next paragraph here. It says, the motto of reduce, reuse, recycle is even more crucial today than when it first came on the scene in the 1970s. So here this sentence has a comparative here. Something is more than something else. So this is a motto here that's more important today than it was in the past. Now, what's a motto, you might be asking? Well, that's kind of a phrase, a short sentence or phrase that is kind of catchy and you can memorize it, and by doing so can help you remember something that is important. In this particular case, we're talking about the motto, reduce, reuse, and recycle. I think the motto of the Boy Scouts is always be prepared.
Yeah.
I think that's their motto, the kind of sentence that they live by. It's something to remind them of what they're supposed to do. So, yeah, if you want to be a good citizen of the earth, remember this motto here, reduce, reuse, and recycle, sometimes referred to as the 3 R's.
Yeah. Well, it is pretty important. There are a lot of very famous mottos, aren't there? One of the biggest is Nike, just do it, or do it. But yeah, this is a good motto if we can stick to it, but who knows? When something first came on the scene, it first came on the scene, you'll hear all of those words together. When something appeared that was then used quite a bit, maybe it was the first time we'd seen it before. Most of us still have plenty of shopping bags around our homes, these plastic ones. I actually have a really big Costco bag, that you can buy and take your stuff home. I always bring that back to Costco because those cost a lot of money. I store all my plastic bags from, places like 7-Eleven or Family Mart. I store them in there and then I use them again, or sometimes I need to take things to friends, or, they're good to just carry stuff around in because they're light. And I like light things. So most of us have plenty of plastic shopping bags around the house, but simply disposing of them or throwing them away in the recycling bin is not the ideal way to handle them. I don't do that. We do have some people that take care of our building's trash, which is nice. I don't have to go to the garbage truck every night. But I would never put my plastic bags in the recycling bin. I try to reuse them as much as possible.
Yeah, we do. Every morning or most mornings we go to the Yonghe Dojang place to get breakfast, and they always give us a plastic bag.
You can tell them not to. I've started telling them.
You could, but,
don't give me that.
We kind of forget that. And so they kind of pile up at home.
Yeah.
So we put them in another bag and then later give them to the recycling truck, when it comes through. But I suspect they don't actually recycle those plastic bags. They probably just throw them straight into the incinerator. It's just too much trouble to recycle them.
I did a lot of research on recycling. People are really good about recycling, but a very big chunk of it never gets recycled. There's too much. So
it's just too much manpower.
It's just trash.
Yeah, they just send it to the incinerator and it becomes pollution. So the best solution is to reuse those bags and not dispose of them.
Yeah.
If we use them as their inventor intended at the outset, remember that with that Swedish engineer, at the beginning or from the beginning, these bags can still help reduce our carbon footprint, which of course how much carbon we produce, which is how much pollution we produce, how much we pollute the environment. Okay, that brings us to the midway point in today's lesson. Let's take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们要继续来看第7单元。好，我们谈的主题是讲塑胶袋。那我们使用塑胶袋的方法其实都用错了，所以标题说 Rethinking our plastic bag problems， 我们要再重新思考。好，那我们知道说现在塑胶袋实在是滥用，那怎么解决这个问题呢？很多人都认为说这个解决之道是在于不要用它。好，我们看到这句话 The solution to the plastic plague。To 这个介系词要记得，当你在讲什么事情、什么问题解决之道的时候，介系词是用 to。The key to the door, the key to the problem, the answer to the question 都是用 to。那后面就说了 lies in 在于depends on 也就是依赖是什么而定，是在于说要 dispensing with plastic bags。 我们看到 dispense 这个动词，你后面加了一个 with， 好 dispense with something， 这个中文的意思就是表示不要再用，停止使用，舍弃什么东西。所以这边说的意思也就是叫我们 stop using plastic bags， 不要再用塑胶袋了。那后面就说其实呢，当然不管在欧洲、非洲、亚洲，很多国家都有采取行动。虽然这样说起来，这个方式是有用的哦，减少塑胶袋的使用。可是记住，这边告诉大家，这只是第一步。It's only the first step in tackling this issue. Tackling 当然就是代表 dealing with， 要处理、面对、解决这个问题，这才是第一步而已哦。好，接下来就告诉大家，那该怎么办呢？其实我们有一个口号 ，3 R's， 这3个 R 是指什么 ？Reduce, reuse, recycle。好，这个格言呢，其实非常重要。他这边说，比他当年在1970年代那个时候才出现这个口号的时候，比当时来说现在更重要了。如果你家里有很多塑胶袋，那你是不是就把它回收到回收箱去呢？这样子，作者告诉我们，这不是最好的办法哦。一开始发明家的本意，记得在我们前一天说到的，他没有想到大家今天用塑胶袋是一次性的使用，因为他刚开始的本意并不是如此。好，我们注意到这个片语 at the outset。at the outset 意思就是在事情的开端刚开始的时候。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about our plastic bag problem. Day 2 of our unit here on the environment. Now, a lot of people believe that the solution to the plastic bag plague, it's not just the bags. We have a lot of plastic items. And these are suffocating our natural environment. Well, a lot of people think the solution is just using them less or not using them at all. So a lot of countries have tried to take action. You can ban plastic bags and just say, oh, no, they're against the law. Or maybe tax plastic bags, or as Taiwan has done, they make you pay 1 or 2 or even 5 NT for a plastic bag if you're dumb enough not to remember to bring one. And that's usually me. Actually,
usually most people.
Well, you know, all of the little food shops that are in my neighborhood, because I live so close and I always take my food home and eat it, I always say, you know, 不用袋子, you don't need them. Just carry it in your hand and you're fine.
Well, that's easier said than done.
True.
Because a lot of people need to ride motorcycles and you need to carry stuff in a plastic bag. It's just more convenience that way. But yeah, it's kind of hard to remember. But again, these are some possible solutions here to ban them or to tax them, etc., etc. Paper bags and cotton bags may diminish litter and waste, but both take more resources to produce than plastic bags, and therefore don't reduce our overall impact on the environment. Okay, that's what the next sentence here says. Paper bags and cotton bags may diminish litter and waste. So diminish here is a verb that just means to reduce something and almost get rid of it. I wouldn't say it is the same as eliminate. It just means to lessen the amount of something. So it may reduce or diminish litter and waste, but of course they take more resources to produce than plastic bags. If you want to use paper bags or those cotton totes that we talked about before, they take a lot of resources and energy to produce, even more than plastic bags.
Yeah, I wanted to mention, especially for the ladies out there, totes are very popular bags these days. You can get a leather tote where you're probably paying quite a bit of money for it. It's a kind of purse or bag that's quite big. You usually can fit at least a computer, a laptop in it. A lot of ladies will take totes to the market or the department store to go shopping. I used a tote in college instead of a backpack. A lot of times, you know, it was just cooler to use a tote, but that's what a tote is. You can also tote someone around by if you have a wagon or, you've got a little kid who wants to go along with you. You might tote him along with you, pull him along. But a tote here is just one of those bags that doesn't zip or close really at the top. It's just got the two handles. And they're quite handy when you go shopping. That's the kind that I have. It's plastic, but it's a nice size tote. It doesn't have to be cotton to be a tote either. So plastic bags, they do help diminish or reduce litter and waste. But like Tom was saying, it takes a lot of resources just to make them. So you got to take that into consideration when you're coming up with a good solution. Here it says, in fact, a cotton tote, takes 131 times as much energy to produce as a recycled plastic bag. So now you see why plastic was so popular when it first was invented. I wanted to say this number, guys, you can either say 131 or 131. Both are correct.
Right. So again, if you make those paper bags and cotton bags, you're actually using a lot more energy to produce them than you are plastic bags. So, of course, it still makes sense to use plastic bags, but try to use them as much as you can. And I think this can also apply to clothing. I understand cotton is a very resource-intense material, okay? In order to make clothes from cotton, you need to use lots of resources and lots of water and stuff like that. So, yeah, fast fashion is just not advisable. It's bad for the environment.
Oh, I don't like that, yeah.
Yeah, don't buy so many clothes, okay?
Yeah.
Just use the same clothes. My goodness, I'm wearing the same shirt I wore 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty good about that. But some people just like new fashion trends and stuff like that.
Well, and there are these stores around there, as you know. You can get a lot of clothes very cheaply now. But, yeah, it's not a great idea, is it?
Although those stores employ a lot of people.
They do.
But again, that's another topic.
That's a good thing.
I wish we could talk about that some more. But we're talking about plastic bags here. But basically the point here is that cotton totes and paper bags have their own problems. They cause problems for the environment as well. So what are we going to do? Let's take a look at the next paragraph. It says, more companies are also creating sturdy bags that are meant to be portable and can substitute for thousands of single-use plastic bags over a person's lifetime. So companies are making these bags that are sturdy. Sturdy just means strong, very difficult to break. Your body can be quite sturdy as well. Maybe your house needs to be very sturdy. If there's a big typhoon and your house is not sturdy, the winds will blow it down. It might huff and puff and blow your house down. But in this particular case, we're talking about bags, plastic bags that are quite sturdy. I think the ones that you buy at some of the grocery stores, the supermarkets, are quite sturdy, which can double as garbage bags, I believe. The white ones that say Taipei City on them or something like
those
that.
Those are quite sturdy. In fact, I just came back from a trip to the U.S., and I'd forgotten our plastic bags in the States are really thin.
Really flimsy.
Yeah, they're flimsy, and they break easily, but I'm wondering perhaps if they're better to recycle or you really can't reuse them much. I do bring them back to Taiwan because I wrap everything in my suitcase in plastic bags. So if something spills, it's not a mess. But yeah, they're very, very thin. But the last time I was even thinking about this, I thought, wow, those bags that we buy from the government, the Taipei City bags that you're supposed to use for trash, those are really thick. I'm wondering if it could be less thick. But yeah, those are sturdy bags, and the ones from the States are not sturdy. I'm talking about the grocery store bags in the United States. There are other kinds of bags, of course. So with a combination of reusing what we already have and investing in items that are made to last, buy something that isn't destroyed after a couple of uses. Well, if you do this, we can finally start to safeguard or protect. That's another word for protect, safeguard. The environment in the way that the inventor of plastic bags intended. Remember, Mr. Tulin, whatever, I don't speak Swedish, so sorry. But Tulin, he thought that, his plastic bags would save the world because we'd save trees and people would reuse plastic bags again and again or over and over. But that's not what's happened.
I guess he had no way of knowing that people would just manufacture them cheaply and throw them out. He's probably rolling in his grave right now.
Rolling over in his grave.
No, rolling over, right, knowing that what happened with his invention here. But it goes on to say, in that kind of world, we would take our own bags anywhere we went because, as Tulin's son said, well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I can answer that question because it's kind of a hassle to do that.
We're lazy.
You need to remember to bring a bag with you. I try to, wrap up a bag and put it by the door when I come home to remind myself, yes, take that bag with you when you leave. But I don't always remember. And as I said, there are so many other things to remember. But hopefully we can remember to do that and always remember to bring a plastic bag. And hopefully someday the government will charge us $1,000 for every plastic bag we buy. That will teach us to recycle. That would do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
好，我们继续来谈我们使用塑胶袋的方法，到底应该怎么用才是真的有环保概念。说到大家塑胶袋用一次就丢，这并不是创造发明人本意。想想看，现在有些人会说，我们用其他的购物袋不是一次性的使用，而可以用很多次，包括是棉制品啦，像这样的东西。可是如果跟塑胶袋比起来，纸袋当然不太耐用，棉制品或许耐用，可是他说了，他们其实需要更多的资源来制造，所以呢，基本上没有降低对环境的影响。好，看到这里。Therefore, don't reduce our overall impact on the environment. 注意到我们说到了介系词 on， 因为这种搭配词的使用影响，这个 impact、influence、effect 记得哦，加的是 on。那没有降低对环境的影响。实际上他怎么说呢？他说到了棉质的手提袋，其实它制造出来需要的能量，可是那种再生塑胶袋的131倍。好，这里又牵涉到一个重要的句构，讲倍数。倍数记得，不管你要说几倍，倍数数字后面接了 times。然后再接，像这边用 as 的句构，就是 as much energy as a recycled plastic bag。这个地方 as 的结构，倍数的用法，在翻译里面大家要特别注意。那么最后这一段他就提到说，其实为了环保，很多公司他就在发明 sturdy bags。也就是耐用的袋子，这样子的话，它不但可以方便携带，还可以呢取代那种一次性的塑胶袋，因为你可以重复使用好几次。好，这边说到了 reusing what we already have and investing in items that are made to last. That are made to last 意思就是要投资在那种持久性的物品。好，我们今天的讲解就到这边结束，我们下次见。
That's it for today, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again next time for another edition of our program. And hey, remember to bring a plastic bag with you and reuse it. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.